So you want to get smarter, right? I mean, we're all told it takes like decades of school and a mountain of debt. But what if there's a more direct way? Let's get right into it, because becoming smart might actually be a whole lot easier than you think.
I mean, listen to this take on the traditional path. It promises you'll get smart, but a lot of the time, it just gives you a degree you can use to write a really well-worded post on Reddit about not having a job. It's pretty cynical, sure, but it hits on a real problem, you know? The usual school route doesn't always equal real-world smarts.
Okay, so if the whole school and debt thing isn't the guaranteed answer, then what is? How do we build that genuine, useful intelligence that actually, helps us in our day-to-day lives? That's the big question, and we're going to break it down right now.
First things first, we got to define what we're even talking about. When we say we want to get smarter, what are we really trying to do? Because it's not about acing a pop quiz, it's about something way more practical. For pretty much all of us, getting smarter boils down to these things right here. We want skills that actually make us money. We want to be good at solving problems, and yeah, we want to master some tough subjects. And let's be real, we want to flex just a little bit. We want to sound sharp and hold our own in a conversation. So that's the goal. How do we get there? Well, the internet is absolutely packed with these little quick fixes, these biohacks that promise to turn you into a genius overnight. But do any of them actually work? Let's take a look at the usual stuff they tell you.
Eat blueberries, sleep more, listen to Mozart. We hear this stuff all the time. And look, none of these things are bad for you, obviously, but they totally miss the point. At some point, if you want to get smarter, you have to, actually learn stuff. So if a handful of blueberries isn't the answer, what is? Well, the single most powerful thing you can do is actually deceptively simple. Read. But here's the thing, not just any reading. The type of reading you do makes all the difference in the world.
It's really interesting when you break it down like this. Fiction is great, don't get me wrong. It'll make you read faster, it expands your vocabulary. And hey, good dialogue can kind of make you feel like you have friends. But nonfiction, that's where you get the raw material to sound smart, to learn skills, and to have those amazing little tidbits to share.
But, and this is so crucial, it's not just what you know, it's how you share it. See, on the left, you've got the well-actually guy who makes everyone around him feel dumb. Then on the right, you have someone sharing the exact same information, but in a way that's like, hey, isn't this cool? One makes you a nerd nobody wants to talk to, the other makes you seem like a humble genius.
And that's the whole game right there. Real intelligence isn't just hoarding facts. It's about being able to share what you know in a way that brings people into the conversation instead of shutting them out. That's how people see you as smart and someone they respect.
Okay, so you're reading, you're gathering all this great information. Awesome. But that's only half the job, because all that knowledge is completely useless if it just sits in your head gathering dust. You got to apply it. You got to live it. This right here is the #1 rule of learning. Our brains are super efficient, almost lazy. If we don't use some piece of information, our brain just flags it as junk and throws it out to make space. It's literally use it or lose it.
So the most direct way to tell your brain, hey, this is important, is just direct practice. It is so simple. You read the chapter about how to clean a bedroom, then you actually go clean a bedroom. Done. You've just created this super strong link between the knowledge and the action. But what about something you can't practice right away? Like, you're not going to just go find a car to jumpstart for fun. This is where visualization is so powerful. You read the instructions, then you just close your eyes and you vividly imagine the whole thing. You're there, it's cold, you pop the hood, you find the battery, you play the whole movie in your head step by step. Your brain basically gets tricked into thinking you've already done it, and you'll remember it so much better.
All right, so we're reading, we're applying it. The final piece of this puzzle is that you have to create a need for the information. You have to kind of manufacture a situation where your brain thinks this knowledge is critical.
And if you really think about it, what is a school test? It's exactly that. It's a completely imaginary situation created just to make it seem like knowing the parts of a cell is super useful right at this very moment. But here's the catch with that whole system. It only works for a little while. The second you walk out of that exam, the fake need is gone. And your brain, in its infinite efficiency, just says, okay, don't need this anymore, and throws it all away. That's exactly why we forget almost everything we cram for.
So to make learning stick for good, you have to create your own high stakes. And this example is just perfect. When you're doing practice questions, don't just answer them. No. You're hanging off a cliff by one arm, and the only way you get pulled up is if you can name those parts of a human cell. It sounds silly, but that kind of mental game makes your brain take it seriously.
And all of this brings us to the ultimate, maybe underrated, tool, the textbook. I know, they're not exactly exciting, but they are brutally effective. Why? Because they give you pure, focused information, and then they immediately give you practice questions that force you to apply it. It's the whole system in one package.
So maybe the secret to getting smarter isn't some new age hack or a weird diet. Maybe it's this tool we've had all along, just sitting on the shelf. It's about combining that solid knowledge with immediate, high-stakes practice. So maybe it's time we all gave those old textbooks another look.